Welcome to Game Tales, where we blend the world of video games with immersive storytelling. On this channel, you'll dive into epic adventures, gripping crime thrillers, and heart-pounding action, all told through the lens of your favorite games. If you're a fan of incredible gameplay combined with captivating narratives, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new story. And if you've got thoughts or theories about the game or the narrative, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Skyline Vengeance, the final kill. It was supposed to be a simple mission. The objective: take out the last man standing and do it from the sky. A clean kill, a victory for the books. But nothing ever went according to plan in the world of underground contracts. And tonight was no different. The wind howled as he climbed into the cockpit of the glider. His pulse raced, not from fear, but from the excitement of the challenge ahead. The city sprawled beneath him like an urban jungle, filled with secrets and enemies. He wasn't the only one hunting tonight. There were others out there, each one with their own objective, their own desire for the kill. But only one of them would walk away as the victor. He adjusted the throttle, gliding into the night, his mind calculating every move, every angle. He had no room for error. Not tonight. He could already feel the pressure mounting. The first few setbacks, the glitch in the jump, the misstep with his loadout, had rattled him, but he'd recovered. He knew this game, and more importantly, he knew how to adapt. He'd survived worse before. The glider was his weapon, his escape, his advantage. It was a dangerous game of cat and mouse, but he'd played it countless times. He would survive. A flash of movement in the distance caught his eye. There, one of his competitors, a figure moving in the shadows. The man didn't see him, but he could feel the tension in the air. The first kill was always the hardest, but also the most important. Whoever controlled the skies controlled the game. He focused on the objective, keeping the glider in the air, maneuvering around the landscape while the chaos unfolded below. The stakes had been set. Kill the last man standing. But in this world, nothing ever went as smoothly as planned. His glider dipped slightly as the enemy tried to take him out, his bullets sparking against the metal. Damn it! He swerved to avoid the incoming fire, but his hand trembled. That wasn't supposed to happen. He couldn't afford a mistake like that, especially not now. The man on the ground had managed to shoot at him from a distance, leaving his glider in a dangerous state. The repairs would be tricky, but it wasn't over yet. The adrenaline surged through him, forcing him to stay focused. The glider could be fixed. He could still finish this. But as he soared closer to the compound, he noticed something that made his blood run cold. The glider's fuel was running low. No gas cans. No way to refuel. He cursed under his breath. Without fuel, he wouldn't be able to get to the final circle. And that's where the real game began. The last kill. He needed to stay calm. He couldn't let the pressure of the situation cloud his judgment. He needed to find a way to outsmart them all. There was still a chance to salvage this, but he had to play it smart. His thoughts raced. He checked his inventory, his eyes landing on the C4 he had stashed earlier. It was risky, but if he used it wisely, it could turn the tide in his favor. He couldn't risk getting too close to the ground again. The enemy knew where he was now. He had to stay unpredictable. The glider dipped again as another shot rang out, but this time, he was ready. He swerved, dodging the attack, his mind sharp. There was only one thing left to do. Let the others kill each other. Let them take each other down until only one remained. Then, and only then, would he strike. Time passed, and the sounds of gunfire echoed across the landscape, fading into the distance. He could hear them fighting, each player desperate for control, desperate for victory. But the operator stayed silent, perched above them like a hawk. He wouldn't move until the time was right. Suddenly, a burst of movement. There, down below, a car speeding across the field, one of his rivals trying to make a quick getaway. The operator's heart raced. This was it, the perfect opportunity. He checked his altitude. He was too low. He couldn't afford to make another mistake. If he dropped too fast, he'd miss his shot. If he went too high, they might spot him. The game was tightening. The glider was still in a precarious state. He could feel it losing altitude, but he had no choice. He had to take the risk. For players left, the tension was unbearable. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he gripped the controls, his eyes scanning the field below for any sign of movement. The countdown was on. He had no choice but to play it carefully. A vehicle appeared on the horizon, speeding across the dirt. The driver was in a hurry, but so was he. There was no room for hesitation. The glider dropped lower, and the operator's hand reached for the C4. He wasn't going to just take the shot. No, he had something bigger in mind. He set the charge, preparing for the final moment. This was it, the last kill, the one that would cement his place as the winner. But just as he was about to activate the C4, disaster struck. A rival sniper, hidden in the shadows, took aim and fired. His glider's engine sputtered, and for a brief, heart-stopping moment, it seemed like the mission was doomed. His instincts kicked in. He pulled back on the controls, fighting the fall, desperate to keep his glider intact. The minutes stretched out, each one feeling like an eternity. He couldn't afford to fail now. Not when he was so close. Then, in a flash of brilliance, it came together. His last move. The C4 went off with a deafening explosion, taking down his enemy. Victory. The operator let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. He had done it. Against all odds, against all the setbacks, he had finished what he started. He had claimed the final kill, and the victory was his.